All right, this is the class activity for the wave problem. So calculating the different parts of the wave using our wave equation. So the references you can see here, there's obviously going to be this video, but also there are a couple of other videos on waves and using the wave equation. You can see here, this is our wave equation, right? The wave speed equals the frequency of the wave multiplied by the wavelength. And you can see there's a little triangle there that will help you just cover up the variable that you need in order to answer those or in order to figure out which equation to use. So let's just go ahead and do some guided practice here. I'm going to check this box to just generate our problems. And let's just do these three problems. There's only really three problems that we can really do with, or three different types of problems with this. So let's look at problem number one. A wave has a frequency of 9 hertz and a wavelength of 8 meters. What is the speed of the wave? So I'm going to look at my little hint here, cover up the unknown variable on the wave speed triangle to find the equation to use. The unknown for this problem is wave speed. So I can look up here and cover up the wave speed, and it's frequency times the wavelength. So I can come in here and the wave speed, it's wavelength times frequency, either or. So now I know what equation that I'm going to be using, right? Because it turned green, great. I'm already set up for success here. Now I can come in here and I can plug in what I know. So the frequency is going to be 9, and the unit is hertz, right? So great, it turned green. Now I know that's correct. Wavelength is going to be 8 meters. There we go, right? So now I have the equation that I'm going to use, and I know the wave speed. So the wave speed, and the equation I'm going to use and all the variables. So the wave speed equals the frequency times the wavelength. So all I do is I'm going to take 8 times 9, 72. 72. And the unit, meters per second. So great, it turned green. Now let's look at the other two kinds of problems that I can give you. So a wave has a frequency of 9 hertz and a speed of 21 meters per second. What is the wavelength of this wave? So I look at my hint again, and this time the unknown for this problem is wavelength. So I'm going to look at from my equation, and the wavelength equals the wave speed divided by this frequency. So I just plug in what I know. I know the wave speed is 21 meters per second. And I know that the frequency is going to be 9 hertz. Perfect. Then I can just set it up. Let's see here, and I take the wavelength. It's going to be 21 divided by 9. And I get 2.3. Right? I can round to the nearest tenth. 2.3. And that is going to be meters. Right, there you go. All right, let's take a look at the last kind of problem that I can give you. A wave has a wavelength of 14 meters and a speed of 341 meters per second. What is the frequency of the wave? So now I'm like, the unknown for this problem is frequency. So I'm going to look for the equation. I cover up the frequency on the speed or wave triangle, and it's going to be the frequency equals the velocity divided by the wavelength. So I know the wavelength is 14 meters. I get this from the question. And I know the wave speed is 341 meters per second. Now I can just plug in my known variables into that equation. So in this one, it's going to be 341 divided by 14. And I get 24.4. And the unit for frequency is the hertz. So that's the guided practice. And now you can see down here, there are problems, but it doesn't give you the like the equation and the knowns. You have to decide, well, what's the variable that I'm looking for, and that's the hint. It tells you like what the unknown is, but you have to use that equation to find that unknown variable, right? So you get the known variables from the question, use that wave speed triangle or just the equation, and calculate what the problem is asking you. So once again, this is the class activity for wave problems.